Hello, welcome to a video on why are comic books so addictive. I love shooting the newer videos with this angle because you can see my beautiful Gwen Stacy pictures. A sketch, I mean. Comic book was still is very addictive, but in my younger days, I was a hoarder. Okay, I think there's nothing wrong with the term hoarders. Okay, so when I use the term hoarder, this does not mean that I'm degrading anybody. That if I call anybody a hoarder, so was I, because comic books at some point were so addictive that I couldn't stop myself from buying. You know, for the most part, I stopped buying new books off the rack in 1993, 1994, whenever that was, and then sure, as I returned to the hobby in 1999 and even in 2008, 2009, I did buy modern books here and there to read because I was curious to see what's going on. So I bought a couple hundreds. Okay, if I had to, I don't have an exact number off my head, but I bought a couple hundreds. Anything from like the Goon series to uh, the modern DC books when Jim Lee was drawing Superman and Batman. But like I said, whenever I see them for cheap on eBay in a lot, I buy them just to read them. But to the extent that was about all the new books that I bought. And I did give away a large portion of my coppers books that I bought in the 90s to my nephew. When I moved to Florida in 2004, I gave away, I don't know how many, but basically my entire uh, collection of stuff I bought in the 90s to my nephew. And then I also gave away a large portion of the stuff I bought in the late 80s to other people once I moved to Florida. For example, I had a complete run of Wolverine, 1 to maybe not complete, but I had like issue 1 to like 80 something. I gave the complete run away as well. So I gave away a lot of books. But because I was a hoarder, I bought a lot of older stuff because I wanted back issues, and I was never shy from turning down a chance to buy a collection from anyone. Doesn't matter if it's 100 books or 5,000 books. If I see a chance to buy it, and if I can afford it, I bought it. I turned down many collection as well because sometimes the price are just too crazy and the sellers and I just couldn't meet somewhere in the middle to close a deal. But one of the deal that seemed odd at the time is not so odd today. Um, I was fairly ignorant to Kirby's Fourth World for a long time. The only book from Kirby Fourth World that was of any interest to me, for the most part, was Jimmy Olsen 134 because I was a Neil Adams fan. I wanted and owned that book and bought multiple copies of that book over the many years because it's just a beautiful cover of Superman being carried. I like that. I like that cover a lot. But that's about the extent of my fourth world knowledge of Kirby. Not until Walt Simonson did his Orion series for DC, then it piqued my interest. Okay, when that series was out and I bought those books, I love Walt Simonson, the art, the story. It was a lot of fun to read. For those who are not familiar with that, I think it was a maxi series. It was wonderful, but that piqued my interest in Orion and other fourth world story. So an opportunity for me to pick up a whole bunch of fourth world books arrived. Hundreds of them. Okay, hundreds. multiple duplicates copies. I had a lot of them. So I bought them. Okay, I bought a whole bunch of books. At the time, it was more of, my way of saying, hey, I don't have any fourth world books. Might as well buy these books so that at least I can read and understand what's going on. So that was my huge purchase of the fourth world collection, for my collection. The only books, the only book that was not really in that collection was Demon. There was not one Demon number one in that collection. There was many other Demon book, but number one and number two did not exist. Okay, there was no Demon number one or Demon. I don't know why. Maybe because it's two of the cooler covers of the fourth world. I have to obtain those books separately. But as far as the rest of the fourth world book, it was insane. I had so many duplicates, and for years, they really weren't, worth much of anything. For example, just look at, I still have, I sold, and the grades of this book are a wide range. Okay, some are mid grades, many are high grade, but for the most part, that's what they were. That, a few mid grade, like maybe 6, 6.5, 7, but there are quite a bunch of 9, 9.2, 9.4. But look at this. I think I sold one New God to Dr. Van Schiller. That's the only New God number one that I ever sold. But that was like, there's like 1, 2, 3. There's like 7 copies still. It's insane of New Gods number one, and some of these 9.4, 9.2. Like I said, it's so many. And then another example, Sandman 1. Oh my god. Now the purple cover is the one I bought separately because I saw it and just like, oh, that's cool, a purple cover. But as far as the rest of the Sandman 1, there's like 10 copies here. Many are 9.2, 9.4, even 9.6. Insane, I mean, and like I said, I have duplicates of many books. I have sold a few of them over the years, but I still have, quite a lot of them. And sometimes, as I have said this many times to many people, you make your own luck. It's good to be lucky, but sometimes you gotta go out there and make your luck, as in buying these books in the first place. They were there for other people to buy, so I took a chance back then just because I was curious to learn about the fourth world. Now the one book that I had a lot as well that probably worth the most out of the whole lot was Forever People number one. I thought I had 6 copies. I thought I had 6 copies because I always, as you know, I like my book raw. So I thought I had 6 copies, and I submit 5. I pull out 5 books. I wasn't paying attention. I just grab 5 and submit them to get them graded. And I have sold 2 already. But as you can see, the remaining 3. Okay, like I said, what I sold pretty much paid off the collection that I bought, what I paid for. So basically everything else, the hundreds of books of fourth world I still have, basically are free. Now, because I can't find the 6 copy, I might have to crack one of these out for me to keep, because I do want a raw copy number one for myself to enjoy. So if I can't locate the 6 copy, I might do a cracking. I have never cracked out a CBCS slab before, so that might be the one and few occasion I will crack out this, because like I said, I had make enough profit on these books that cracking out a slab is not a bad thing. But yeah, it's sometimes hoardings paid off in the end. Certainly when I bought all those books, you know, I didn't think that they would be worth a lot of money. So, you know, the sad thing about the hobby today is I think opportunities like that are harder to come by. Not that it is impossible, but for sure the last 2 or 3 years, I just don't see chances to buy a big set of books like that for a reasonable price. The key is, if you can buy a huge lots of books for cheap or reasonable price, sometimes you can get lucky down the road, and some of those books might be worth a lot of money. So yes, comic books were and still are very addictive. Thankfully, I have curbed my appetite to hoard any more books. So the days of me combing Craigslist to buy a big collection, that's pretty much over. I this part of that reason too is the sheer amount of competition. I remember, if you go on YouTube or Craigslist, if you go on Craigslist, say 10 years ago, okay, you wouldn't find that many ads on Craigslist. Sure, you see a few listing of books, but very few ads of dealers and collectors wanting to buy books. Today, doesn't matter where you live, you log onto Craigslist, any cities, any size, and you will see daily ads from dealers and collectors wanting to buy collections and making offers. So the competition are fierce. It's almost require luck and a lot of hustle to get there quickly. I just don't have the energy to do that anymore. But that's it. That's all I have for this video. Thanks for watching.